In need of a million followers.
Okay.
Log
Going live?
Radio.
Yep. Live right now. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. It's me. Peace and blessings be upon you. This is Clifton Bradley, the host of the Underground Railroad radio show. But we also have a television show that comes on Saturdays. It comes on Saturdays at 10:30 on Channel 19 on CAN Television, and you can see us. But today we have a guest that will be called, should, if it's not God's ordination, is Minister Ben Willis, to talk about the generational gap and what do we do
In need of a million followers.
to bridge that gap. Why is the separation? Why? And you know what? You may have an idea why that gap is there. You may have an idea why that gap is there. And what happened is you may have a particular opinion or view. But that Brother IX on, and Brother IX, do you have anything you'd like to say to the people? Brother IX is the engineer and the pioneer of this venture with Blog Talk Radio to get more people involved. Give him a telephone call so he can produce your show. Okay. You got anything you'd like to say, Brother IX?
No, but your guest is here and your other call is here. Would you like me to just open up to your guest first, and any calls you take after the guest?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Your guest is here.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Minister Ben Willis. Is out of
salam.
Chicago, out of Chicago. Walaikum salam. And he is out of Chicago, but he is just not a Chicago activist. He is a world activist dealing with issues that affect people not just locally, but globally. And brother Minister Ben, he is also the spokesman of the Flaming Crescent Society, and he also has a show called In the Mind of Minister Ben Willis. But please introduce yourself, brother, and thank you for accepting the invitation to come on the show, brother.
Thank you, Brother Clifton, and also Brother IX. Thank you, brothers, and it's a pleasure to be on the show with you. And for the listening audience, my name is Minister Ben Willis. I am the national representative for an organization called the Flaming Crescent Society. The Flaming Crescent Society is an organization that uplifts and educates our people. And I'm also a mentor at North Lawndale High School. I've been doing that now for 4 years, and I'm looking forward to doing my 5th year there. It's very rewarding to help our young people. And it's a pleasure to be on the show. And I think it's a very, very important topic that we got.
In need of a million followers.
So, you know what, Minister Ben, before we get started, we're going to talk about the generational gap and how do we conquer the divide? Because there's a chasm, there's a divide. Because we understand this, but first I would like to ask you, Brother, do you have any thoughts on the murder that happened with George Floyd and the individual that stood on his, the police that stood on his neck, before we get into the topic? And then condolences for the family.
Okay, well, it bothered me, to actually see a person lose their life in real time. It wasn't a movie. It was actually And it was total disrespect, the look on the police face as he was doing it. You know, it had that smug look of a slave master killing a slave. And it was for the world to see. It bothered me tremendously because then I looked at that as being my children or my family members or my friends, and it just really took a toll on me. And I think, and this is where we come with the disconnect between the youth and the elders. What will our elders do? I mean, would our elders have enough courage to stop that or make a difference? Because the youth got out there. They put their lives on the line when they seen that. We had marches. I mean, the elders. We had marches with Dr. King and the whole shot. And they put water hoses on the people, and they had dogs, sick dogs on them, and hit them with nightsticks. And they took that. But the youth didn't take that. The youth didn't take that. They didn't take none of that. You know, they didn't take any of that.
And you know what, brothers, we speak of this. We're gonna get to the youth because and we know that you work with the youth on a regular basis. I mean, this has been going on for so long. Sandra Bland, okay, that died in a jail cell. Okay, Trayvon Martin, and you know what? And there's so many other names. Why do you think that there's such a disvalue for black life? Because I remember when it was a Caucasian that went into a church and actually killed him. And then the police had the audacity to treat him well, and they took him to Burger King. Why is there a total disregard and disrespect for black life, and black life does not seem to matter? There's a group that says black
in need of a million followers.
What have we done so terrible? I mean, what have we done so bad to be encompassed by white supremacy? And all whites are not bad. I'm just saying, making a general statement. You know?
Well, until you start demanding respect, people will always disrespect you. If they don't value if you don't demand respect. See, when they start killing us, like they've been doing it, but we start putting theirs in the ground, once we start putting theirs in the ground, then they're going to want to sit down and let's say, hey, you know what? Let's sit down and talk about this issue. Let's sit down and talk. Let's do something. But if you don't say anything, and then on top of that, just like those elders that were in the church, now just look at this beast. This beast went into the church and sat in the church in Bible class with them, Bible study, for 2 hours. He sat in there amongst the elders for 2 hours, and then he killed all of them that were sitting there.
Yes.
Now, the world sees that, and then what do they family members say? We forgive them. We forgive them. I mean, who teaches you that? What kind of doctrine is that? That is against the laws of nature on how God created the human being. In fact,
in essence, Minister Ben Willis, are you saying that Martin Luther King, who people they revere and they love, and when he said that he advocated nonviolence, that he was wrong? Would you say he was wrong? That was just his way of doing it.
No, well, I didn't say it was wrong. I'm not a Martin Luther King guy. Never was a Martin Luther King guy. You know, I never was a Martin Luther King guy as a little boy. You know, I see my grandparents and the elders, they revered Martin Luther King, and he brought the nonviolence and the passive resistance, which was never okay with me because my nature is to defend myself And then one of the rules that my parents always taught me, and I guess, and you guys might echo the same sentiment, was if somebody hits you, you do what? You hit them back. They didn't tell me to turn the other cheek, but that goes against that goes against my nature. So when he was doing that, I didn't pay attention to that. I was more on the side of the Black Panther Party, H. Rap Brown, Stokely Carmichael, those types of, that type. If you hit me or do anything to me, I'm hitting you back. And I was all for that. I wasn't for any of that other stuff.
Okay. And, as we talk about Minister Ben Willis, can you briefly tell us something about yourself? Because I know that you volunteer.
I'm on the radio.
And I know that you have information where individuals get in contact with you. Perhaps if they're a young man or need some guidance. Tell us something about yourself. We know you volunteer. And what does that involve? Volunteering and foretelling and changing young people's lives.
Well, I have compassion. I have compassion for black people. Okay, I have compassion for black people. I come out of the corporate world and also the sports world. That's why I come out of, and I've always had that passion for my people when I was younger, and I always want to see our people elevate.
In need of a million followers.
There's a saying that youth is wasted on the young, and I've heard that before, and I had to try to, dissect that statement. And what I came up with is, you're wasting your time. The youth that you have as a young person, if you're just wasting it, not doing anything or being productive, then it's just a waste of time, because once that's gone, it don't come back. Everything you can get. If you lose a car, you can get you another car.
In need of a million followers.
A friend or a husband, you can always get that. But one thing you can't get back is time. And that's so precious. So the thing is now is to help young people utilize their time, because it's very important. Because what happens is, just as well as the elders worked and did for me, I have to give that back to them and to assist them, and it helps us.
Okay. And something that I would like to know, and I don't know if you're willing to share this. Apparently, you have strong role models in your household. How did your mother and your father install these spirits to give back to the community and to give back to your people, your mother and father? How?
Well, I came during a time where a two-parent home was paramount. Dad was involved. In fact, looking at in the morning when we get ready to go to school, my dad will get his lunch pail and he's getting ready to go to work, and you see all the other fathers going out to work too. Now, that's a heck of a thing to look at when, as a little boy and as a little girl, when we're all getting ready to go to school and we're looking at all the fathers carpooling, getting on the bus, and leaving to go to work while the mothers are taking us to school, preparing meals for us when we come back home. And so it was more stable. It was more stable then, and which is a threat to this society. And so I was able and fortunate enough to have that. Then I had grandmothers, and my grandfather was prime example. My grandparents didn't have an education, as far as schoolwork, but they knew how to make a living for themselves, because during that time of not having, and during the time of slavery and things of that nature, you had to make it on your own the best way you can. And I seen my grandfather get up at 5 a.m. and go to work. He had 15 children, and he prepared meals for them and everything, didn't skip a beat. So these were the examples for me. You know, these are examples for me, and I was fortunate. So now by me having that and what I learned, I have to do the same, and I try to do the same for my children so they'll know. And so the examples that we have, you know, that helped me a lot. Now, I have to say this, of course. Things are not the same when I came up in the 50s. Things are not the same.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more difference. Children see death and dying on a regular basis. They have that they got to deal with. But I've got the foundation, so I have to use that. I have to talk to them. I got to assist them. One thing that happens is between the elders and the youth is the elders, well, I don't want to talk to them. I don't know what's going on with them crazy young people. They just so crazy. And then the youngsters say, them old people, they talking all that old stuff. They don't know what's really going on. And that's a major disconnect. You know, I'm gonna give you something that I seen and I witnessed. This was a few years ago. One Sunday morning, I was going to Walgreens up there on 95th and King Drive.
In Chicago.
On 95th, 95th and King Drive. And I was standing on the corner of 95th and King Drive, waiting for the light to change. And there was an older guy. He was dressed real nice, he was dressed real nice. Looked like he was going to church. And there was a young guy standing there with his pants sagging down. And I'm standing there. I'm like, wow, this is, of course I don't like that. So the older guy says, he said, hey, young man, why don't you pull your pants up? And the young fella turned to the older guy and he said, I pull my pants up when you put your pants on. And I was like, whoa. I said, whoa.
Yeah.
And the older guy, he didn't say anything. The light turned green. We walked across the street. He crossed on the other side and was waiting for the 95th Street bus. But the young fella was still walking down King Drive, and I'm walking behind him. So I hurried up and got up there to him, and I said, what? I said, what was that all about? Because it still amazing to this day. And he said, sir, he said, I was just minding my own business, and this old man, I guess he going to church, he going to tell me what I should do when they never done anything for us. Yeah. And I said, what you mean by that? Old people don't have nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
I say, old people don't have nothing to do with you. I said, well then, now I got to go in there. I say, I say, why you wear your pants down like that? He say, it's just a style. I say, you know where that came from? I said, you know where that sagging your pants came from? I don't know. Some people say it came from jail. I said, no, that came from slavery. It's called buck breaking. It was called buck breaking. It was when they were they were sodomized. The slave master would take the male slave. He would rape him in front of his family. The black man, they would rape him in front of his children and his wife. And then he would have to wear his pants down behind his butt to let the other slave masters know that he's been broken. And also, they have pictures of, you can see them down there at the DuSable Museum, of males hanging from trees, and they would pull their pants down because they were fascinated with the male and female, black male and female genitalia. And that's why that was. And that's why they do that. And in fact, you can have there are some fraternities, their rituals are to pull their pants down under their butt and do some type of dance or something like that. And that's where that came from. And so when he did that, when I told him that, you know what the young man did? He pulled his pants up, tightened his belt. He said, I never heard that before. I said, well, just do the research, and it's called buck breaking. And I said, do I look like an old man? He said, no. I said, but I'm an elder too.
You know, I would like to ask you, you mentor young men at school. What do you think? What is the main reason you think the young people? I think they don't want to be bothered with elders in their old ways, and I may have a misconception because I'm not in the same arena. Do they relish the thought of an elder giving them information? Do they rebel? What do you think, from your knowledge, would they rebel against it?
See, and that right there is the misconception. The misconception is that the elders don't want to have nothing to do with the youth, and the youth don't want to have nothing to do with the elders. But it's contrary. That's contrary to what that perception is. They are so respectable. I mentor young men and women that are seniors in high school, and they're coming from, and a lot of them come from pretty tough area. That's the North Lawndale area on the west side, and it's pretty tough. And these young men and women are in school, and they're brilliant. So far, I have six students that are in college, and 3 of them are at Big Ten universities, Iowa, and 2 of them at Michigan State University. And so it's very, very proud. I'm proud to do that. I mean, to see them do that. Now, yeah, there are people, that young men and women, that don't want to hear it. Then you just let them be. And there's elders that don't want to have nothing to do with the young men and women. Let them be. There's a scene out of this movie called Boys in the Hood. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Okay, the scene
in need of a million followers.
Furious Styles. He is the young man come during the summertime and stay with his dad. Well, anyway, one day they're driving around the neighborhood and they're talking about gentrification and things like that. And they pull up in the ghetto. And his son and his friends, they're saying, you stopping the car here? And a lot of Crips was across the street. They're like, what you stopping here, Dad? Keep moving. Don't get out the car. He gets out the car and he says, it comes a time we got to stop being afraid of our own people.
Yes.
Which I thought was a very powerful statement. Because even those who they call rough around the edges, they have been respectful to me. Now, I want to ask a question to the listening audience and yourself. With that happening like that, have the mosque failed? In the religion of Islam and the mosque, have they failed the youth? The religion of Judaism and the synagogue, have they failed the youth? Christianity and the church, have they failed the youth? Because on Friday, the Muslim passed by these young guys standing out on the corner. You know what they're doing. Passed by them to go to the mosque. On Saturday, the Hebrews, they passed by them on Saturday going to the synagogue or the temple. And these guys are hanging out there on the corner. We know what they're doing. And on Sunday, the Christians going to church, pass by these guys, know what they're doing, going to church. We pass by them instead of stopping to assist. One day I did. And I was just on a Sunday, and I said, hey, why don't you? I wasn't trying to be funny, but I just wanted to see what was happening. And I approached her and say, any of y'all want to go to church with me? I'm going to stop down here for a second. You want to come on with me?
Yeah.
And they said, look, this young fella said, my grandmother go to that church. He said, my grandmother go to that church. I pay my grandmother's light and gas bill. She take all her money and put it in the church. What else? What could I say after that? There's nothing I could say after that. He said, I'm out here hustling to pay my grandmother's light and gas. she's in church giving her tithes.
Yes.
So how come the men that's in the mosque, in the synagogue, in the church, get out there and assist those guys instead of running into the house of prayer? Because let me say this, Muhammad didn't have a mosque he hung out in. He just went out there, dealt with the people. Moses, Abraham, that's what they did. Jesus, that's what he did.
Yes. Yes. But you know, as we speak about that, brother, I will say that there are some elders that are fearful of the young people. I think I have seen them do some despicable things to the elders, like throw bottles at them, curse at them for no reason. And I really didn't understand that. Since you're working with the youth, perhaps you can explain.
Well, I don't paint nobody with a broad brush. The majority of young people, I said the majority of young people are good people and respectable. You know, if you got one, and every human being is going to have some bad people. You know, they're going to have that. That's just part of it. So I can't paint the brush and say that, you know, all young people are bad and all old people, all elderly are bad. I can't say that because I haven't seen that. You know, I haven't seen that. And then with that disconnect or being that, then we can talk to protect each other. You know, then a young person say, hey, do you think if a young guy was trying to harm an elderly person and there was intelligent young black men their age, would they allow that to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Mom, what you need? Mom. What you need?
You know, I'd like to ask you something, Minister Ben. There was somebody in the chat room named Melvin, and he said, do you think the reason that the youth of they have turned away from the Bible is the Christians? And I assume he's a Christian. You think that is a big problem, that they have turned away from the Bible and the way of Jesus? Like you said, one piece of blessed be upon him, wanted to do that.
Well, with these young warriors, and I call it with the Joshua generation, you better come better with this instead of this milquetoast type talk that you're giving, because they want to see what is your. It comes down to actions and deeds. What is your actions and what are your deeds? And when you're just giving talk, and you're not saying anything, then that doesn't do anything. You know, that doesn't do anything. So what are you doing to produce? What are you producing? You know, they're going to give it to you straight up in your face. You know, they're going to do that. And we had a prime example these past few days. These past few days, these young warriors got out there and made a change in how black people are being treated. Do you know now that there is close to $500 million so far donated to deal with racial injustice right now? They have made a change to corporate.
Michael Jordan made $100 million.
And there's other corporations too. Walgreens have contributed. All these are young warriors that made it happen. They made this happen. They didn't take it. They wasn't going to let you do anything to them, and they wasn't afraid to die because they are not afraid to go. You know, I've heard a number of times they say, "Sir, I don't think I'm going to make it to 24 years old." I say, "What?" That's how they feel, and that's how they felt. So we got to bring more than just sweet talk. Yeah. Sweet talk is not going to do it, you know. And so when all of the action was going on, now all of a sudden, you know, all these people, these Christian preachers, Muslim imams, now they want to talk now. They want to talk about what we're going to do and how we're going to stand up and social injustice when they didn't say anything when all that was happening. So, no, I'm with them on that side.
And Minister Ben, you know what, brother asked, do we have any telephone calls or do you have any questions for the brother?
We have 2 calls. Do you want me to put them both on at the same time or go one by one?
Yeah. You can put them on at the same time. They can both probably have a question for them. Okay.
Okay. The 2 callers, I don't know your names. All I know is your number. So I'm going to open your mics up, and I'm going to go by the first 3 of your numbers. So if you like to speak, just say your number or your name. It's up to you. So the first caller, the number I'm giving you is, your number is 838. I'm going to open your phone up, and you can introduce yourself. And if you have a question for one of the speakers, you can. Go ahead.
Okay, so
838.
Oh yes. Okay, so that's me, and my name is Lenore Currington, and I am. I want to say I thank Minister Bill Willis and the radio talk show host, the blog, and all the listeners and everybody that's involved in this conversation today. And I just want to say that I do agree with the seniors and the youth having a disconnection, and that we need to be able to find a solution to getting them to get together and be able to understand each other. I also believe that one of the disconnections is a language barrier. The youth talk a different language from the seniors. The seniors don't understand some of the stuff that they're saying. So the young people's language changed. So that's one thing. And then technology changed. So the youth is always on the cell phones, on the computers, and and the stuff that they do it take a lot of their time away. All of the Facebook, social media, Twitter, all of those. They take away time that they can be spending with the seniors. So
in need of 1 million followers.
So both of those 2 individual age groups together.
So do you got a question now? It's just a comment that you want him to comment.
No, I like exactly what she said when she talked about the language. That is in fact the most important thing, because when there is a language barrier, the greatest thing in the life force for any human connection is communication. It's communication. And that is the major thing right there, is if we communicate with each other, which is easy to do. It's easy to do and very hard and profound too. So that is I would say that's number one when it comes down to the disconnect.
Now, the 838, I'm gonna leave your phone open. So if you like to say something, and if speaking, don't interrupt. But after he opened up the table for comments, your phone will be live. Second number, 708. Your area code 773, but your number is 708. Your mic is on. You can say whatever you want to say to the speaker if you have a question or comment. 708. Okay. 708. Your phone is still gonna be on. So whenever you want to say something, just you know the rules. Okay. Let's go to the next. Hello.
Yeah, go to the caller. Okay.
The next caller. I'm leaving your mic open, and if anytime you want to jump in the conversation, you're more welcome. 708-908. Your phone is on.
Okay, I want to have a comment. I want to say that some spectacular things have happened. And I'm a senior citizen. So I'm at awe because my group was not raised to question superior people, especially Caucasian people. We were demeaned and we were destroyed because a fear was in us and is still in us that we don't come against the system. And I've said recently that our children and our children's children have mixed blood in them from being raped by our grandmothers and mixing our blood up. And so these children are the children of Caucasian people and black. And they have no reason, fearless. And because of that, they have acquired the things that they have. And I believe things are going to happen, but they have to come back home. And home is, the Bible says that the older people are wise and the younger people are strong. They do need our wisdom. So many times youth will tell you, I don't want to hear you. You're not doing this, you're not doing that. But they can't make it without us because God has implanted wisdom in us. And to build a new community, they're going to need the wisdom of senior citizens. I said, because we've been quarantined, that somebody should have taken a group of young people who supposedly are not really supposed to be able to get the virus. And they should be able to go about some kind of way and teach the seniors, because I've had so many senior citizens begging me, can you help me get through this and get through that on my if they had a cell phone or if they had an iPad where they can commute with the world. Our young people need to be taught how to help their seniors, and our seniors can be of help to them.
You know, before the guest comment, I would like to, that's another camper. Will you tell us what time your show comes on and what day?
Wednesday and Friday at 12 noon. And we're on FaceTime and Facebook.
Okay, y'all be sure to tune in and see if could you respond to that, Minister Ben Willis?
First, I want to say this. The two sisters that comment, I hold it dear because I look to hear from the woman. That's where knowledge starts and flows through. Those two sisters that just spoke. It says in Scripture, it says, reverence the womb that bore you, the mother, the woman. The mother is the first teacher of life. She's the first teacher. And when I hear women speak and speak with knowledge and wisdom, I shut up and I listen and I take it in. The one sister said about communication. And then the good sister talked about wisdom. The root word for wisdom is to be wise. Now, our young children, they have knowledge. The root word of knowledge is to know. Knowledge comes quick, but wisdom takes time. And when you combine the two, you make a strong and powerful nation. Because you have those go-getters, and they're ready. Because first off, they're just young, and they're vibrant and everything else. But they might not have the proper direction, but your wisdom can elevate them and have them to take it further. It's just like a relay race. You ever see a relay race where the one person starts off the race and he has the stick, and he passes the stick to the next runner so they can advance. And the elders, we done ran the races, so we have to pass the baton off to those young. Let me show you something. This was last Sunday down there on 53rd Street. Of course, they were still protesting and things like that. And it was on 53rd, and I forget where, but it was in Hyde Park. And this young guy, the police was chasing after him, and he tripped, and about 5 police officers started hitting him with sticks. Yeah. These young girls, I would say they had to be about 18 or 19. They jumped on them policemen's back and were fighting them. And then the crowd just engulfed them. But I looked at them, I said, they're fearless. And then the camera came on them, and the news people put the microphone in their face, and they were huffing and puffing. They were like, yeah, we're not going to have it. You're not going to do anything to them. And I'm just sitting there like, look at this energy and this, this fearlessness. Just take it and guide it in the right manner, because they have zeal. They're zealots. And with the proper connection. As a old football player and old football coach, I had young players and I had older players, and I combined the two. And the younger players had all the energy and the strength and the speed and everything else, but the older players had wisdom and taught them the different things on how to make your routes and how to score the touchdown, and gave us the reason to win. And we had a very successful season. So combining the two, and not just paint a brush over the young or paint a brush over the elders.
And Minister Ben Willis, I would like to know what the generational gap. Can you speak to a parent? There are parents that become overly too friendly with their children, and what the children lose respect for them because they become too friendly. And there are parents that are actually afraid of their children because they're paying the rent, they're paying the mortgage, and they are afraid. They're terrified, and they talk back. Can you talk to a young man or tell a parent how to deal with a situation like that?
Well, what happens is the parents drop the ball. They drop the ball on teaching their children. We're going to be buddy. I've seen the situations too. And when you become on the same level of your subordinates, then they're going to treat you the same way. If you've never seen a supervisor act like he's one of the guys, and then you tell him I'm coming in late and you ain't going to say nothing about it, he say okay, and he has no power over you, then you disrespect that person. When you have authority, you make certain you yield that authority, and we are not the same. We're not the same, so do not get there and get too comfortable. But once you become comfortable like that, okay, just like this. I know this guy. He's my age. He's hanging out with the young fellas, and they signify back and forth to each other. He's signifying with them, and then one
need of a million followers.
Now, very disrespectful to him, but he didn't garner their respect because he was down on their level instead of saying, "Hey, young man, no, we ain't gonna do that, and you're not gonna partake in what they do." Then you have a problem there, disrespect. Now, it is for the parents to. I've seen some young people cuss their parents out, and in some instances want to fight them because they went past the disrespect. Now physically, and I'm asking both of you guys. Physically, you guys can. If we got into it with our parents, we could beat them up. It would be no problem. But it's that thing of fear and respect that we would even think about doing something like that. But there's other people doing it though. They're doing that. But if the parents drop the ball, the parents. Listen, I'm gonna tell you. A few years ago, my son came by the house. And he got out of his. I don't know who he was hanging around, but he got out of his body one time, and I said, "Oh, wait a minute." I said, "Wait, wait. I had to stop and pause and say, "What you say?" Dude, We getting ready to make the news today. We getting ready to make the news. Y'all will be looking at that Man Go Berserk on Sun tonight at 10. That's what y'all saw. And so, you know, you still, as a man, you still have to have that growl because they respect that, you know, and unfortunately, some instances, but that's not the majority. That's not the majority of people. And it's unfortunate that some of the young people, they just don't have the guidance. I know people that don't have no respect for their parents, but they have respect for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, they respect me.
Yeah. You know, it's I've seen where it is, you know what do you do? How do you deal with it if you know that the young man is selling drugs and you supporting the house, and you are just terrified of them? What do you? There's some parents are terrified of their children. They are. What do you do?
Well, they raised them. They didn't raise them properly. They didn't raise them properly.
Yeah.
You know, if that falls on them. That falls on their doorstep.
Okay.
You know, because you created a monster.
Yes.
You know, you created a monster.
We got any more telephone calls, Brother IX?
So far, you have no callers. You don't have. So far, you don't have no callers. 773-708. Your phone is open if you'd like to say something. 773-708. Those the first three of your numbers is 708.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? 708. Okay. Well, I guess whenever they get ready.
I can hear you.
Okay. Your phone is open. Your phone is open anytime you want to say something. You're more welcome. You can continue, Doctor.
I think Brother Ben know my voice, and he knows what I'm about. This is Albert.
Yes.
Okay, bro.
You hear me, Ben?
Yes, I hear you.
You got me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
First of all, this thing about the man and parents with the respect of their home. Like you said, brother, they dropped the ball. First of all, if I got a need of a million followers that I'm supporting, I tell him he's going to have to go somewhere else to sell it and live.
That's right.
See, because if you're the head of that household, if you don't have, you do without. If you need it,
that's right.
You
Yes.
find a way to get it, and not through that, not through destroying your kid. You helping your kid destroy himself by supporting that, and you're killing your household, your other kids, your other children that's there.
Yeah, that's right.
I understand sometimes situations are different. There's a lot of different situations, but I speak on me and a lot of people I come up with and I know and my brothers. We always find a way to support our children, our household, our family. We support each other. We support friends and strangers when we can.
Mhm.
See, that's where you have to be. As far as children that you don't know, young people that you don't know, you find a way to connect with them. You know, you got to respect them.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You got to give them their due respect. I don't care what they're doing, you still got to respect them. And if you do that, if you go talk to them and stop talking at them and down at them, you talk to them. Especially these young men, like you said, Brother Ben, these are warriors now.
Yeah.
And they not accepting that do as I say and do and not as I do anymore. These are smart, intelligent beings.
Yes.
And they
That's right.
And they demand respect. And when you give them that respect, guess what? They bring it back to you.
They bring it back.
I have approached a whole lot of guys that are dead. I'm talking about stone killers. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
They're stone killers. But you know what they call me, Uncle?
Right. Okay.
When I told to them, I say, hey, man, you know you don't need to be doing that. Oh, yeah, Uncle Junior, you never told me nothing wrong. You're right. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, you ain't got no reason to be sorry, man. I said, but just think before something comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
You always think first.
Right.
See, that's where we older, we had to get, we had to find that way. And like one of the sisters said earlier, you got to find and learn that language. You got to learn their language before you try to speak to them.
Mm-hmm.
When you know their language, and then you can come to them and you speak to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I have had hey, look, all that cussing and all that stuff. Hey, look, man. I'm sure you can find 100 words to say other than that, to say what you were saying. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. That's where we have to be. We have to, first of all, we have to earn that respect from those young people first, and we have to respect them and approach them in the right manner.
Yes.
And there we can bring about the change. We will.
Yes.
We'll close that gap between us and them, because we don't talk to our youth anymore. We talk at them and talk about them. We don't talk.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So with saying that, I'm finished. I'm going to finish listening to the other comments. I think I took up enough of time. But Brother Ben, me and Brother Ben are friends, and we do this all the time.
Good friends.
Yeah, we're very good friends, and we're on the same level with the stuff. So I'm going to continue to listen and then let other people give their comments or ask their questions or whatever.
Would you comment on that, Minister Ben? And I got a question for you, Mr. Comment.
Well, the brother Oliver just spoke. I don't expect nothing but intelligent, caring, compassionate for our people. I've seen this brother in action. I've seen him in action. He's not talking; he's walking it.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't say that he adopted some children, and these are young black men that he raised. So I tip my hat to this brother. And the thing is about that is, and all of us that's on this show right now, we all have a caring about our people and about the youth, because we're talking about it. We're talking about them and uplifting them. We're not, again, talking down on them and talking at them. So, I ain't expect nothing more from that brother but what he shared.
Mm-hmm. And, Minister Ben, we were running a long time. But what I would like to ask you is, we have talked about, you have mentioned the solution, but can you sum this up about what is the solution? What is the antidote to bridge this gap? It's a big chasm. What do we do? And with this advice, we need it. I need it.
Okay. It's very simple. It's right in front of your face. Your children, they're the youth. Your grandchildren, they're the youth. Talk to them. Communicate with them. Uplift them. Educate them. Help them out. And you know what happens? Is that when they get around their peers, they ask their peers will ask them, where you get that from? I got that from my dad. I got that from my mom. Yeah. I got that from my granddad. I got that from my grandmama. And you'll find that they'll start to migrate around you to pick up a little bit of that too. And you keep elevating them. And not be afraid of anybody to just open your mouth. We can go all on this, as we travel throughout our communities, we see young people. We can give them, we can say hello to them. Just that one hello can mean tremendous things.
Oh, yes.
So, we can be proactive. We can be proactive. So it's not like a magical wand we can wave, but we can just take that first step and do that. It don't cost us nothing.
There you go.
It's for us to be aware of what we got to do.
Okay. And, Minister Ben, can you give some type of word of advice for new parents or somebody that, they may become a new parent in the future? What type of advice would you have for new parents?
Oh, the most wonderful thing I can give any new parent is to enjoy that gift that God gave you. just enjoy that gift that God gave you. I take it that all of you had children. Just the first time you see
in need of a million followers.
your baby say daddy, it just does something. It does something to you. That's all. Just enjoy that gift that God gave you, because it's precious. Because it's a gift. It's a gift. What do you do when you have somebody give you a gift? You're supposed to cherish it. And if Almighty God gave you a gift, you're definitely supposed to cherish that.
And you know what, Minister Ben, you know what, we've asked you a barrage of questions. There may be a specific message that you want to give to the people, information, how people get in contact with you. Do you have any specific messages that you would like to give to the listener?
Well, let's see. I know we might be running close out of time. I have a TV show called In the Mind of Minister Ben Willis. You can go on YouTube, and there you'll see my television show. It's a variety of different subject matters. But it's always about uplifting and educating. And it's conscientious things. And the young lady, Lenore, she's going to be my co-host. She's going to be my new co-host on the show. She's very diligent. She's very intelligent, very articulate, and she's a go-getter. So I look forward to doing work with her. And all I can say is, during this time and what we're going through and what we're seeing, and we're seeing our babies out there in that fight, all I can say is this: accept your own and be yourself.
And you know about the school in Chicago, in the United States, in Chicago, Illinois, that you are a mentor. Do y'all need more help? And do you want to give out the information and how they can get in contact and get more assistance with mentorship?
They can get in contact with me at area code 872.
Followers. We have to stop the New World Order by disseminating misinformation